Victor is a young boy from Ioannina, Greece. He has vitiligo, an autoimmune condition, and doctors once told him he didn't have long to live. He was devastated. For a while, he just sat quietly, listening to music, waiting for the end. But guess what? He didn't die. And that's where his journey began. Victor loved traveling. He loved hiking, sailing, skiing, fishing, anything that made him feel alive. Always by his side was Suze, his sleek black cat with a wild spark in her eyes. He found her on Santorini Island during one of his early adventures. Since then, they've been inseparable. Together, they traveled all over Greece and beyond. Because when the doctors gave him that terrifying diagnosis, Victor made a decision. He was going to see everything before his time ran out. He skied with Suze, literally. She'd ride down the hill with him, paws out, wind in her whiskers. They'd talk, in their own way, like two old souls. And always, they'd return to Ioannina, Victor's home, his roots. One day, he visited his parents. They shared a quiet dinner, and afterward, Victor helped his mother with the dishes. Then he curled up with a book, texted his friends, and played a bit of GTA on his PC, just to unwind. Later, he waited by the clock tower downtown, Ioannina's most iconic meeting spot. He met up with friends, grabbed coffee, ate souvlaki, snapped photos, and filled his night with laughter. They headed back to his place for a chaotic sleepover full of snacks, video games, and goofy YouTube videos. Victor liked Lisa. Correction, he loved her, but he never said it. She gave him a red beanie the night before he left for Athens. That beanie became part of him. Soon after, it was time to pack. Victor had been accepted into the Agricultural University of Athens. On the long bus ride from Ioannina, he worked on his laptop, animating a cartoon he'd been creating. When he arrived, he moved into a small rooftop flat with a sea view along Poseidonos Avenue. Beautiful, but tight on money. He checked his bank account. Empty. He searched for jobs. Fast. Then he saw it. A Greek restaurant in New Jersey needed a manager. He applied. He called. He hoped. Meanwhile, he kept going to class, watching friends' reruns at home with Suze, riding buses across the city. Then, he saw Lisa, in Athens, with another guy. He called her. No answer. Heartbreak hit like a truck. He went home, sat on the floor with Suze in his arms, and cried. He didn't understand. He never got to ask why. But life kept going. He worked as a security guard at a hospital to pay his bills and help his parents. By day, he was a student. By night, he stood quietly under hospital lights, guarding the hallways and his thoughts. Eventually, he met Makis, the guy from New Jersey. They shook hands. Victor was in. Then came the American embassy. Visa approved. He met with his friends one last time. They shared beers, jokes, dinner. Lisa was there. She didn't know he'd seen her with someone else. When he showed her his ticket, she broke down. Tears, confusion, guilt. She begged him not to leave, but he'd already decided. At the airport, her voice trembled. But Victor turned, heart pounding, and walked toward his gate. He hated planes. On board, anxiety bubbled up. But he took out his laptop and wrote his story, his animation, tried some American pizza, laughed a little, and just like that, Victor landed in Philadelphia. Makis's nephew picked him up in a silver Mustang. Victor's story had just entered its next chapter. Victor arrives at a small roadside motel. It's tiny, just one room, enough space for him and Suze. They curl up together on the bed, exhausted but full of hope. The next morning, he wakes up early. Makis, fresh
to
air,
officially begin
his
boardwalk
new life
breeze.
in America. He's off to meet. He's excited, nervous, determined. But before heading out, he checks his phone. His bank account? Empty. Worse, he's deep in debt. He had used his credit card to pay for the flight. Victor knows there's no room to fail. He has to work now. And he has to get it right. He meets Makis. They exchange a few stories from Greece and America. Laughter, familiarity, a taste of home. Victor begins working right away. Host in the morning, server at night. Double shifts, tired feet. But slowly, the tips start to stack up. He makes friends. Margaret, from Siberia. Louis, a bold, bald guy from Philly with a loud laugh and a soft heart. They serve gyros together, crack jokes behind the counter, and give tourists extra sauce just because. One night, while checking out customers and giving change, Victor feels something off, a little lonely, so he downloads a dating app just to talk. He scrolls, chats, swipes. Then he matches with Anna, a girl from Florida. They talk for hours, long texts, voice notes, plans. They agree. They want to meet. Victor promises to visit her soon, but first, he needs to see New York. He's dreamed of it since he was a kid. He's only 20, still wide-eyed, still hungry for wonder. He boards the bus from New Jersey to NYC. When the skyline appears, his heart skips. He's there, for real. He walks through the city like it's a movie, music in his ears, magic in the streets. He visits the Statue of Liberty, stops in Little Italy for coffee, snaps selfies at the Flatiron Building, picks up "I Love New York" shirts from a street vendor at Ground Zero, still under reconstruction in 2008. He crosses into Brooklyn, grabs a quick lunch at the park. Victor finds a little corner of the city for himself, just enough to feel grounded. He picks up a short-term job at another Greek restaurant, just for a while, just enough to save for the trip to Florida. Before he leaves, he meets up with his Greek crew in New York. One last beer, one last laugh. Then he packs his bag, looks at the city one more time, and leaves. Victor boards the plane to Orlando. He's super excited, heart racing, headphones in, face glued to the window. As the city appears below, he smiles. He can already tell he's going to love it here. And then, there she is, Anna, waiting at the airport. Short hair, sharp eyes, a calm confidence. She smiles, opens her arms, and they embrace like they've known each other forever. They hop into her white Mitsubishi and hit the highway. On the way to Cocoa Beach, they spot alligators by the water. Victor makes her pull over. He's never seen one before. They laugh, take photos. She teases him for being too excited. He doesn't care. They pass Jackson Avenue in Cape Canaveral, right next to NASA. Back at Anna's place, everything feels peaceful. Her home is warm, lived in. Suze meets Anna's 3 cats, Zeus and the rest. It's feline chaos, but a good kind. Victor and Anna, they just click. They walk barefoot on the beach. They cook for each other. Late-night conversations, quiet dinners, long stares that say everything. One night, Anna hands Victor a small box. Inside, a red cap, to replace his red beanie, the one Lisa gave him back in Greece. Victor hesitates, but he puts it on. A new chapter begins. They kiss under the stars, ride bikes down the coastline, laugh like kids who don't know what pain is. But life, as always, has a twist. Anna's broke. She confesses she's out of money, drowning in bills, no backup plan. Victor doesn't flinch. He gives her everything. $15,000, his entire life savings, earned from double shifts, lonely nights, and dreams of a future. Anna is ecstatic. Victor? He checks his wallet. All that's left is $20, but he doesn't regret it. Not yet. With the money, Anna launches a t-shirt business. She designs, she sells. They call it Low Tide Threads. They're happy. Or at least, they think they are. Vacations in Miami, long walks under palm trees, stargazing from the roof of their little beach house, watching NASA shuttles blast into the night sky. They travel often, especially to South Beach for dinner dates. They laugh, they kiss, they live. The American dream is real. They move into a stylish new home in Miami. They even buy a black Hummer H3. Because why not? Victor's thriving. He decides to pursue his passion, design. He gets into school. Then he does something bigger. He applies to the Harvard Extension School. He gets in. And when he graduates, cap and gown, diploma in hand, he feels unstoppable. Victor and Anna return to Miami. But something's off. The air is heavy, ominous, then disaster. A massive tornado strikes the city, buildings shredded, streets flooded. The sky turned black. They grab what they can, Suze, the other cats, and flee in the black Hummer, driving through wind and chaos. Everything is terrifying. Everything is gone. They escape toward Orlando, tired and shaken, and spend the night sleeping in the car. The next morning, they wake to silence. No home, no plan, no money. They try to find a place to stay, start over, again. But now, they're broke, completely, and that's when everything begins to unravel. Anna changes. When the money was flowing, she was warm, affectionate. Now, she's cold, distant, mean. She resents having to work. She resents Victor. Jealousy creeps in. Obsession follows. One night, after an argument, Victor tells her, "I want to leave. I want to go back to Greece. This isn't love anymore." That's when things turn dark. Anna starts screaming, throwing his clothes. Suze hides under the bed, confused and anxious. Then, Victor disappears. Suze begins searching for him, room to room. No sign of him. That's because Anna has locked Victor in the basement. Yes, the basement. She gives him water, bread, leaves the light off. He's tied, hands behind his back. Days pass, until one night, Victor sees something metallic on the floor. A broken clip, maybe. He drags it toward him, cuts through the ropes, painfully, slowly. He's free. There's a small basement window. He climbs toward it. Then, Anna appears. She catches him. But Victor flips the script. He plays along, tears up, whispers, "I still love you. I never stopped." She softens, breaks down. They cry together, hold each other, but Victor doesn't believe it anymore. He's just surviving. Days later, they host a small dinner. Louis, his old friend from New Jersey, shows up, along with others. Victor is quiet, but his friends notice the scars on his wrists. Something isn't right. Later, as Victor packs his bags, Louis confronts Anna. "I'm taking him away from you." Victor doesn't argue. He's ready. The next day, Miami Airport. Victor walks through the terminal. Anna follows, holding a crate. She says Suze is inside, but something's wrong. The crate looks empty. Security notices. Her behavior is erratic. She's escorted out of the building. Victor doesn't look back. He heads to his gate, sits down, opens his phone. 36 missed calls, all from Anna. He scrolls through old photos of Suze, eyes heavy, heart broken. Then he opens his bag, looking for a snack or maybe a charger. And there she is, Suze. She had escaped the crate, climbed into his luggage when Anna wasn't looking. Victor gasps. Tears well up. He lifts her out gently, kisses her forehead. She chose him. He feeds her a small piece of food. They curl up together and sleep, finally, safe. The plane soars above the clouds. Below, The lights of Athens begin to twinkle. They're almost home. Victor steps onto Athenian soil. Home, but something doesn't feel right. As he makes his way toward the metro, he senses it. Someone's following him. A man, creeping just behind. Strange, unsettling. Victor's gut tells him this isn't random. Then he remembers the crate. The crate Anna brought to the airport with Suze inside. He checks it and finds it. A receipt from a vet, or maybe an electronics store. Anna had chipped Suze, a GPS tracker. Every step Victor takes, she sees. That's how the hitman found him. That's how Anna is watching. He's never really been free. Later that night, Victor finds a burner phone taped to his apartment door. It rings. He answers. Anna's voice, cold, sharp, threatening. She tells him it's not over, that she's going to end everything. She sends him a photo. Victor, smiling, next to his mother. A warning. Victor bolts out of the apartment. Seconds later, boom, flames, smoke. His apartment is burning. The hitman lit it up. Victor runs. No time to think. He jumps on the first bus back to Ioannina. When he arrives, he rushes to his parents' house. He finds them safe. For now, they have dinner. They talk. They breathe. But then, another package. Left at the door. Inside, a key. It unlocks a hidden cellar door nearby. He opens it, steps inside. His parents are there, tied up. Proof the hitman had been in their home. Watching. Waiting. That's when Victor makes a decision. He won't run anymore. He won't hide. He sits at his laptop, Suze by his side, and he begins to animate. Every moment, every lie, every twisted truth. He turns it into a film, a cartoon documentary of his own life, his story. He titles it The Ending, by Victor Papadakis. He submits it to every major festival, and the world notices. The film plays in cinemas. Audiences weep. It's emotional, raw, true. The hitman is arrested. He confesses, provides everything the police need. Anna's mask begins to crack. Then comes the awards night. Victor arrives, quiet, composed. His name is called. He walks on stage, the statuette in his hand. But in the crowd, Anna. She rushes the stage. A knife. Madness in her eyes. She lunges, but the police are ready. They grab her mid-swing, arresting her on the spot. Reporters flood the steps of the theater. Flashbulbs, microphones. Victor walks out, blinking into the light. And for the first time, he's not scared. He's free. Later, at home in Ioannina, he receives a letter. Not from a friend, not from family, from a stranger. Someone else who had suffered because of Anna. You gave me the courage I never had. Thank you for telling the truth in time. Victor smiles. His parents are safe. Anna is behind bars. The world knows the truth. And Suze, still with him, always with him. They sit together by the lake. The sun setting. The wind soft. They play. They rest. And they live. This is Victor's story. A story based on true events. A story of survival, love, and reclaiming power through art. Victor is happy now. He earned it. And Suze, she never left his side.